Is it working?
We always pick
It's
the
working.
best. Like, I always just forget that we're starting a show, and I'm just like, oh yeah, the music's speeding up. Oh yeah, we're talking. Welcome to RTFM.
That's called a bumper.
To play us in. What
okay.
does it mean to play us in?
Hopefully everything sounds okay this week. Unlike
Yeah.
last week where it's like, you're peaking. Audio listeners, those on Spotify and whatnot, didn't have that problem because we record direct to the mixer for the audio. So they had like great audio. They're probably like, what is everyone talking about? This sounds awesome. What's up, everyone? RTFM show. It's the end of the week. I'm very excited.
The chat's already like, Jake Paul or Mike Tyson. Which...
Oh, man, it's... you gotta understand, I saw Tyson fight as a kid. I watched him as a kid. I also watched him lose to Buster Douglas, which was his first loss, right? Oh, man, I don't... Okay, I guess we're starting off with that because...
yeah, might as well, right? Well, we were talking about it earlier. I was just like...
It's not even a topic on the sheet.
The sad part is that, like, yeah, if he knocks out Jake Paul...
It's a lose-lose for Jake Paul no matter what, I think.
Well, if he knocks out Jake Paul, it's kind of just expected, right? It's like, yeah, I would
But
hope
then Jake
that...
Paul gets to be the guy that got knocked out by a 57-year-old.
Yeah.
58. I think, is he 58 by now? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's a 31-year age difference between the two. But if you win, you're also the guy that knocked out a 58-year-old. So like,
Yeah, you're
but you also are getting a $50 million payday.
Oh,
yeah.
So here's the thing.
So I don't actually. I think it's opposite. I think it's a win-win for him.
Well, yeah,
because,
it's win-win. So Tyson's purse is $20 million. Paul's is 40. Now, I was having this conversation with my trainer the other day. He's like, "Why is Paul getting twice the purse?" It's like, but he's the promotion company. He is the company doing all of this, right?
Yeah.
So I mean that makes sense. But I'm kind of really wondering. There's $60 million in purses alone for the main event. There's obviously undercards. There's obviously all the production. I want to, because it's a free fight available on Netflix. It starts at 5 p.m. Pacific, guys. 8 p.m. If you have Netflix, might as well watch.
Yeah.
Why not? Right? It's not costing. It's not like pay-per-view. So I'm just wondering, like, where are they getting the funding? Is there that much promotion on this? That much third-party sponsorships are able to make up for this? Like, how's Netflix making money?
I don't know. I just watched the CoffeeZilla and Mr. Beast like NFT thingy, and it's like that's probably where they're getting all the funding, all the NFT scams.
oh no.
I don't know. I mean, like me personally, I'm just like ugh, about it because
I think we all want to see Jake Paul get knocked out.
well, I'm just because Jake Paul cannot get punched enough in the face for me to be satisfied. Like it would just have to
I
be.
second that.
It would just have to be like an entire hour straight of him getting punched in the face repeatedly. And then maybe I'd be like, okay, yeah, this was a good fight.
So he replaced Ajit Pai for you as the punchable face?
Oh no, Ajit Pai is still super punchable.
Okay.
What about just like a compilation of all of them getting punched?
Yeah, I know. Ooh, I should do a super.
Well, like I always said,
every punch to the face.
So just like in South Park, the Warcraft episode, they're like, how do you kill that which has no life?
Yeah.
Like, how do you kill that which has no life? So in this, it's like, how do you knock out that which does not have a brain?
Yeah.
To be honest, he actually has quite the brain when it comes to this entertainment crap.
Mm-hmm.
He really should just go into like WWE like his brother did. But like, I don't know. I mean, this is so. I read the comments. I've watched tons of videos. Yes, I've seen Tyson slap Jake Paul yesterday.
Wait, to be clear,
and all that,
it's
but
tomorrow, right?
It's tonight.
Oh, it's tonight. Okay.
It's literally.
Somebody was asking
It'll
in
be.
the chat.
It'll start. The event will start 30 minutes after this stream ends.
Oh, jeez.
Now those are the
We
the
Oh, yeah,
undercards.
yeah,
and all.
yeah.
I don't think Tyson and Paul will fight for like 2 hours after that.
Yeah.
But you made me lose my train of thought. Damn it!
Sorry.
This group of people always interrupting. I lose my trains of thoughts.
That's called a podcast.
No, that's called old. That's called me being 43. That's what that is. No, I was going somewhere with this, but I remember what I was gonna say. I read all the comments and stuff, and you see it over and over. Rigged. Now, here's the things. There's a difference between a rigged fight, which says the outcome is predetermined. There's also a difference between a lopsided fight, which is what Jake Paul has always set up for himself, minus the Tyson Fury fight.
Yeah.
Right? Fury beat him by decision. It's my understanding there's no judges in this fight. This fight is a brawl. It is intended to be 100%.
So it's just knockouts.
It is
only,
knockout
basically?
or draw.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. There's no like Tyson doesn't have to take a dive to get his $20 million. He's getting his $20 million for simply stepping in the ring.
Yeah.
So there's no incentive for him to take a dive. I believe Tyson when he says he just wants to end Jake Paul. The problem is that's not going to happen. Jake Paul, you can't call yourself a boxer and not be able to take a physical loss, right? I don't think this is rigged. I don't think this is predetermined. I don't think Tyson would do that. Although apparently he's going to owe the government for back taxes for like the rest of his life. So the $20 million probably isn't going to hurt. But it's not like he's going to get more for not winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless there's some sort of a... Now, here's the latest thing that came out, actually. I think 8 U.S. states of the 30-some-odd or 40-some-odd states where gambling on events is legal have banned from the bookies the betting on this because of some of the rule changes. They don't feel like this is because of the fact that I guess it's not a quote-unquote sanctioned fight. It's going on the pro record, but it's not sanctioned.
It's like so different from a regular, typical boxing fight that they're like, we can't really use that sort of.
They're like, we can't allow betting on this event. So 8 states, as of just a few days ago or yesterday or whatever, said no betting on this.
So he said Tyson's getting paid to not kill him.
No, I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can stop that animal because I think what we've seen over the last few months is this transition of Tyson back to that era of the 80s when he was literally that, I want to eat his babies. You know what I mean? Like, remember he was saying that? He's like, I want to kill him. I'm going to bite his head off. I'm going to eat his babies. Like, that's the kind of crap he would, like, in the 80s.
The funniest bet I saw was like, oh, he's going to bite his ear again.
No, you didn't see the pictures that Jake Paul was posting where he was, like, nibbling on an ear?
That's funny.
Like,
No, I didn't know.
So what I feel the one thing Jake Paul might have actually done with all of his antagonization is wake up that beast within. Because that's like early on in a lot of the promos and all that crap, like the Tyson and Tyson facing off with Jake Paul and like their meetups and stuff, there's been smiling and some half-hearted, like, you know, punches back and forth and playing around. That's over. Like,
I mean, as we saw with the slap, yeah.
Well, but Jake Paul stepped on his foot.
Yeah.
And there is a quote of Tyson saying his feet are all messed up. So if anyone like ever messes with his feet, he gets really upset.
Yeah.
So the fact that he stepped on his foot, that's what triggered him right there. A lot of people were like, oh, it's because he was crawling like an ape. He was making a racist comment. I don't think he was doing that. I don't think Jake Paul was doing that. But I think he stepped too close, stepped on Tyson's foot.
Literally, yeah. Because you showed me that clip where they zoomed in on the toe getting stepped on.
Oh, there's like 10,000 angles of that slap. So
somebody just donated $5 for odds of Tyson fighting.
Odds of Tyson fighting.
We got a $5 super chat for.
But yeah. So my gut really wants to say Tyson, but my logic says Jake Paul is just going to run around until Tyson's tired, and then he's going to move in. That's my gut feeling, because that has to be the tactic. I think pound for pound, power versus power. I think Tyson has the edge.
It's like it'll be kind of similar. Well, not similar, but like same tactics to that. When Eddie Hall fought those 2 dudes, and they were just, and he was just getting pissed because they just kept running around, and he's like, "Bro, like hit me,
yeah,
so I can throw you." To
and then
oblivion.
he choke slams that dude.
Yeah,
bam, that was it. He was out after that.
And then
no. So okay, do either of you remember seeing Tyson in his prime? Probably not, because he had already lost his first fight by the time you were born.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up with seeing his 45-second one punch knockouts.
Was that the loss? That first loss?
89, I think.
Okay, so yeah, so before Nick, and then I was like 1.
Somebody could look it up. I think it was 89 when he lost to Buster Douglas.
I was 1. I should have been investing into Apple and Nvidia. Those millennial memes of like look, it's me being a 1-year-old instead of buying a house.
And me in 2008 playing CTF on Halo instead of investing
every
in real
boomer
estate.
parent. Why don't you already have a house by 1? Huh? Why don't you already have a house?
Wasn't hustling hard enough.
Philip, when are you gonna bring me babies? When are you gonna get married?
I'm so grateful that my mom's not like that. She's like the only.
Isn't it usually like the aunts and the grandparents and stuff that are like that?
It's like that's the Asian parent stereotype. It's just like already like, how come no girlfriend yet?
Nick, when you gonna have a baby?
None, never.
You've seen my kids long enough to know you never want kids, probably.
I think I have enough babysitting experience to know I don't want babies.
Yeah, we now hire my youngest to watch him. because you really are. You really are a child.
She has to like ration out his dino nuggets from your guys' freezer.
You have to like fight over them.
Yeah, it's rock, paper, scissors for the nuggets.
The funny thing is, we'll come home if he's been watching her, because my oldest doesn't need a babysitter. She's 15, almost 16. But like, there'll be nugget wrappers and like ketchup and stuff, and it's like, was that yours or Maddie's? And mine.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess we won't sit here on that topic. I think people are probably really sick of the Tyson topic. Just gut feeling. Tyson, Paul, or draw.
I want Tyson.
Okay. So you want Tyson to win.
Yeah.
But wanting to win and feeling is going to win are very different things.
I'm feeling he will win because I would like to see ideally is Paul get too greedy with the flaunting around the ring.
Well, if for Tyson to win, Paul has to get knocked out.
I want to see that.
No, we all want to see that.
Yeah. Gut wants that too.
Because we all saw, like, by the time he realized he had gotten slapped, Tyson already could have had like 2 gut punches in him. Like his speed is still
he
there.
like pulled them.
Yeah. You?
Yeah, Tyson. Like I think he can knock him out. I think he can punch hard enough to get through that beard. Which is something you were talking about.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing that's pissing me off. He needs to shave the beard. That beard is not allowed, although it's not a sanctioned match.
Literally a cushion.
It's not a sanctioned match, but you cannot have a big, thick beard like that in professional boxing because it's actually a pad on your face. It's true, but I really...
Now to give the other type of pad on his face.
Moving on, I really want to see Tyson knock out Paul. I'm just not entirely positive.
It'll happen.
I'm not positive Paul can easily be knocked out.
Yeah.
Some people
he's definitely going to take a punch.
Some people
to take a punch to the face.
People just have a thick freaking head. Like, and I don't mean that as like a you're an idiot, you're so dense. Like, I mean, like, some people just can take a freaking hit to the head or the jaw. Some people just naturally can, and he's bulked up enough over the last year too that I think he's going to be able to weather the body shots.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I do not think he's nearly as good as he thinks he is, but we have a 30-year equalizer here.
Yeah.
So 30 years of time between the two of them. That's a lot, no matter how good your shape is at 58. So I really want Tyson to win. I feel Tyson's going to win, but I fear Paul is going to win. There you go. That's literally a non-answer.
So it's like you want him to win, but you're bracing for the upset if he doesn't win.
Yeah.
I'm not bracing for anything. I have no money on this, and I have no vested interest.
Okay.
But I just, for me, I want to see, can Tyson make... Physically, he's already made that comeback, as far as I'm concerned. If you haven't seen the pictures of him at weigh-in and stuff, it is insane what he's... Especially since, like, if we go back to, like, the Hangover era, he was fat. Like, Tyson was fat. Like, he just like, that was it. Like, when he quit boxing in 2005 or whatever it was, and it is scary how fat Tyson actually got. And you look at him today, you're just like, I want what he's having.
Yeah. Like, dang, he actually controls Eid.
Yeah.
Which is as you get older, it's so much harder to do every single time you do that. You know what I mean? When you let yourself go and then come back, like, that's extra effort.
It is, but everyone says the last thing you lose is your power. So we'll see. The question is, how long can he hang on to that power 2 minutes at a time while getting hit? Because anytime you get hit, you lose a little bit of that endurance. That's part of getting hit. Okay, moving on to the actual topics here. We actually had topics.
Oh, wow.
So Jensen apparently has said that they don't have a plan. You don't have a plan. He probably uses ridiculous font as well. Put in the comments down below if you know what that's from. Anyway, yeah, so he basically was doing an interview and he said, so this is his quote. He says, not having a strict plan does not mean Nvidia has no direction. Instead, it means they are always learning, changing, and adjusting based on what's happening right before them. Wang said his approach is Wang, right? Is that
Jensen, yeah.
Jensen Wang?
I've never really paid attention to his last name.
He said this approach is why Nvidia keeps pushing limits, especially with technologies like CUDA, which many doubted initially but ended up changing computing. Do you know who else doesn't have a plan? This guy. So therefore, I am on the same level as Jensen Wang. No, I do not. I have a loose guideline.
We need spatulas and leather jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a comment on the article that said the one thing that is the most consistent thing about Jensen is the leather jackets. And they're all the same. I have to wonder if that manufacturer is literally making them for him or if he bought like 100 of them. Because they never look creased. They never look like they've been packed in a bag.
That manufacturer, like the whoever was making the black turtlenecks for Steve Jobs was just like, now you know how it feels, guys. You have to make 100 of the same exact one for this dude.
I think it's a lot easier. I think it's a lot easier to make turtlenecks out of fabric than it is to make leather jackets.
I mean, that was part of. I think that was intentional on Steve Jobs' part. Like he wanted to just look like a regular dude instead of like, that's why it's a black turtleneck and jeans, right? Like the.
It's my understanding he also walked around barefoot at Apple all the time.
Yeah,
too.
which is gross. But I think that's more of his hippie side than.
Oh yeah, that's probably the drugs too. To be honest,
the drugs.
He's like, "Where's my shoes? I don't know."
Oh, I have pancreatic cancer. What should I do? I'm just gonna eat fruit for an entire year. You're not gonna get any treatment? No, I'm gonna eat fruit for an entire year.
But
walk
you know
around
what?
Barefoot.
We can thank him for the data that it didn't work.
Yeah.
There's still data there. Look, a failed test is still data.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, it's like a SpaceX rocket blowing up, right? It's like, hey, cool, still got the data.
We got farther than last time. Like, how many times did SpaceX say that? We did that. We got farther than last time. I just thought that was interesting, though, because I think when they're like the tech leader, right?
Yeah.
One of the largest companies in the world, right? To find out, like, no, we do not have a like strict like plan ahead of us of what we're gonna do.
I think it's interesting thinking about that now, and then like looking back at like the original like super hard push for RT, because it's like that was one time where like no one in the industry was even looking at that technology. They weren't even thinking about like why would we even do real time ray tracing.
Well, the same reason why they thought like why would we do rasterization back 25 years ago?
Yeah, but I mean, like it's dang it, I lost my train of thought.
Well, would you say it's because they're fairly ahead, like GPU wise and super?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. So
they are the GPU company. I mean,
well, okay, no, that just reminded me. Yeah, like that. That's what I was gonna say is that like because they are in such a dominant leader position, they can not have a plan because whatever they do becomes the plan for the rest of the industry because the rest of the industry has to follow.
But they operate like
what?
Like for something they do today would take years for us to see it or for it to happen. So I mean that's still a big ship to turn around or change if you needed to change direction on where your engineering designs and stuff are going.
Yeah,
but I think what you're saying is they have the freedom to be like, you know what, we're going to try this today.
Well, and
put a team on
like
that.
They're like, I guess to put it another way, like they're Nvidia. They don't have to turn for anybody besides them. Everyone else has to turn to follow Nvidia because like, and that's why like every like, we have all these. We have to mention every single time, like, oh, AMD's RT cores are one generation behind because NVIDIA just decided this would be a thing in back when 20 series launched, you know what I mean? And so because they're in that dominant position, they can afford to just do things like that.
What I think the major difference, though, between NVIDIA and Jensen and their no plan and me not having a plan is? We're surprised to hear they don't have a plan.
Yeah,
no one's surprised to hear that I don't have a plan. I don't like. Here's the problem. Like, I think that's just because of the kind of ADD that I am. I don't like feeling like, oh, I've mapped this out. Now I have to stick to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think going through the process of making a plan makes me realize, because I do try and plan something. Like this was planned.
Yeah.
Like this whole building move and the build out and what I needed to do, that had to be planned. That could not just be. Let's just do that as we go.
Let's just move and see what
but
happens.
Sometimes I try to plan out like sort of the overall major changes or directions I want to go with the channel. And going through the process of making the plan makes me realize I don't like that plan.
Right.
So then I don't do that plan. I do the opposite of that plan.
But I mean, like, it makes sense as to, like you said in his quote, they're always learning, changing, and adjusting based on what's happening. But not having a plan, affords them that freedom to be able to pivot on whatever, whatever they want to work on at any
See,
time.
as somebody that has worked for some decent sized companies in the past, it's just surprised to hear that they like even can pivot at that size.
Yeah.
I mean, like Intel, obviously, I don't think they can pivot. And AMD even, I don't think they can pivot. But the question is, I mean, is this, maybe we're overthinking what he means by not having a plan? Because clearly, as a publicly traded company, you have to have some semblance of a plan.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, hey guys, give us your money and we're going to do things with it. You know,
Unless your board is in with it too.
who cares what the board is in with? It's all about the stakeholders on that one.
Oh, right.
The board just has the power to fire Jensen or anyone else.
So if the stakeholders are in with having no plan, then it's cool.
Well, the way you say you're in with having no plan is you keep your money in there.
Yeah. So clearly they are then.
Yeah.
If you're not in, if you're not in with not having a plan, then you sell. That's what, and that's what's the thing about publicly traded company.
Would be interesting to see is right after he said that statement, which direction the stock went. Because if it went up, then that would be an upvote essentially.
Let's
of like
see Nvidia stock. Let's see what we got here. It's down 4.78. So it's down 3.26% today alone.
So it scared some people.
I don't think so. Friday always has the biggest sell.
Oh, right.
Friday's always, Monday usually has the biggest rise, and Friday always has the biggest drops. It's still listed as a strong buy, though.
Yeah, aren't they like the biggest company in the world right now? Like I thought they took that title from whoever was it last.
Well, their market cap. Hold on, let me see here. I gotta look. I don't want to misquote this. But weren't they the first company to reach $1 trillion, though? I thought.
I thought that was Apple, and then after that,
maybe.
somebody beat Apple, and then Nvidia beat them.
Let's see. Let's look at their financials, shall we? Well, those are going up.
Mine goes up.
I'm positive that they are positive.
World's largest company. Stupidest search.
Well, they're up 125% on revenue. So in 2017, they had $6.91 billion in revenue. 2018, 9.7. 2019, 11.7. 2020, 10.9. 2021, 16.6. 2022, 26.9. 2023, 26.97. So barely only a 0.22% change. And then 23 to 24, they went from 26.97 billion in revenue to 60.92 billion in revenue in that 1 year.
Chat seems to be saying they took that market cap trillion thingy title from Microsoft. So it was Apple, then Microsoft, then
because I believe what I just saw here is it's $3 trillion market cap.
Yeah, 3.1 something like that. Yeah,
$3 trillion. Nvidia has more money than many countries. many countries. Wow. Let's see. Look at the lifetime, because I'm really curious now. Had I bought that stock when I was one, they didn't exist. That's right. They came out around 99. So had I bought that stock when I graduated high school, let's see if we can't find the max.
Or be like, when did you buy your first GeForce card? and then see if instead of buying that first card, you put that money into the stock.
Okay. In May 28th, 1999, 3 weeks before I graduated high school.
Graduated.
I graduated with the English degree.
Yeah.
Promoted.
I could have bought one share for 3.6 cents.
3.6 cents? How much was the GeForce 256 launch
Now,
price?
this is May 28th, 1999. So I don't think they had a card out yet in 99, did they? Not in May, anyway.
October 11th, 2000, or October 11th, 1999.
Okay, so let's see what happened in October then, shall we?
Dude, I don't even know what I was doing in 1999.
You
were 9. By riding scooters.
You were probably scratching your butt watching cartoons.
Probably. Is that third? Yeah, no, second or third grade then.
Okay,
Probably.
so on October 29th of 1999, it went up to 4.6 cents per share.
Oh, an on-text review is still up from December 25th, 1999.
Rip.
It's a $300.
For those of you that don't know, Anantech has shuttered. They don't exist anymore.
I'm glad their site's still up as an archive, though.
For now. I mean,
yeah.
So anyway,
I'll find out the launch price, and then it'll be funny of a. I think it's. Oh, $249. So, and how much was the stock price? 36 cents or something?
Well, no, in July 30th, 1999, it was 0.042 of a dollar.
Go to like the end of 1999 because that's when the card started making it to market. Like December-ish.
Okay,
maybe January.
Well, it's very hard. It's a very small. Let me see if I can zoom in on this.
Oh yeah, there you go.
But how do I go lifetime here?
You got max.
See give me my mouse. There we go. Okay, max. Ha. There we go. Okay, so
this is just, I like how we're all excited to play this game, and this is going to make us really sad when we do the
in December of 1999, they had $1.27 million in volume. It was still 0.096.
0.09, so 9.6 cents.
Yeah.
Okay. So 249 divided by 0.096. So you would have gotten 2,593 shares, 2,594 shares.
Now
for the price
today,
So
now today
$25.94
they're $144.87 a share.
So if you spent, instead of buying a GeForce 256 back then, if you just put that in other stock, you would have $375,792 worth.
No, I don't believe it split during any of this, but still, that's crazy.
That's funny. That's a house.
Oh, man. Yeah, you're right. That is
In Middle America, that's a good house, too.
It definitely makes me sad to really think about it.
Dude. Also,
I could have been a thousandaire.
God, imagine getting an 80 tier card for $250. I mean, I know inflation and all, but like still.
Well, so what is $250?
Actually, yeah, hold on.
1999 money today? It'd be like $500 probably.
249 USD in 1999 compared to 2024. Well, what am I? Okay.
Because you were talking to the side of your mic. You're not looking into your mic.
Yes, I want to use ChatGPT because Siri's dumb.
We're going to actually have a conversation about this in a little bit.
Oh, boy.
It would have been 453. It's still cheap. It still sounds cheap.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow.
They did say in the review, it does say that it starts at $249 for a GeForce based card.
Yeah.
So that's like the turbo, like the no frills, like no RGB.
So you just used like Copilot or something right there? What'd you use?
I used Siri's ChatGPT integration.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. You're on the fruit computer.
Fruit book.
The fruit book. Okay, so my next topic I want to talk about is how has AI helped you in your day-to-day life? Because do you use anything AI? First of all, Nick, we need to get you in the conversation. This includes Siri and any of that stuff.
Okay, I use Siri, but like in the car, and then
just to like to transcribe your text and stuff, huh?
Yeah,
because I see the sent from Siri all the time.
Yeah, I do that, and I also use change music, and just like the most basic thing is turn on my air purifier.
Wow, so you literally have a little AI robot that's like, what is my purpose? You turn on air purifier.
I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly think Siri, like in its current state, is not. It's like a baby version of a generation of an AI before.
Yeah, because all it can do is
AI.
like, let's find articles online that match the thing you're asking for, and you have to go read it yourself.
Yeah, to me, like
that's more of a data assistant.
I mean, me and Mark were joking about the fact that because we're on the latest like iOS and macOS betas and stuff to access the newer AI features.
Yeah, we saw your pictures.
But we were like, our favorite feature for Siri is the fact that I can just tell it to go straight to ChatGPT without any other BS. Yeah. Like, don't give me a web search. Like, just do the calculation or ask the smarter robot.
You ask Siri something like, "Hey Siri, how tall is Mount St. Helens?" This is what I found about Mount St. Helens, and just brings up an article. You're like, I could have done that.
It's just like, so now I get to tell the dumb robot to ask the slightly smarter robot things, and it's kind of nice.
What my tag doesn't mention on the text when I send it from Siri is that it took me like 3 tries to get to say what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Oh, because he talks so quietly.
Yeah.
You're probably like, "Hey Siri, send a text message. Tell Jay, I'm probably running late today. I've got to take a poop." And it's like, texting Jerry, go take a poop. It's like, yeah. I could see it struggling with picking.
So
up.
Nick is like super minimal.
Yeah. So then technically you're not really using any AI. You're just using a digital assistant. So you don't use ChatGPT, Copilot, or any of that stuff?
No.
Wow. Not even OpenAI or any of that? Okay.
Should I?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because I will tell you this. I've known you for 15 years, and I love you to death. But you really need to learn how to search things up on the internet. And if AI can do it for you, that will make your life a lot better.
Yeah, you have a point.
Yeah. Because it's like, I'll ask you like, hey, what's...
No comment.
Like, what's this, blah, blah, blah. You're like, what should I look for? It's like, I'll do it. Yeah. But you can ask ChatGPT to do it for you. Now, here's a problem with like things like ChatGPT. They're not always right. And you have to be at least somewhat knowledgeable about the thing you're researching or whatever to know that it's not right. Now, it does show its sources, right? It cites where it got the information from. But ChatGPT is also not current. They're usually a few months behind on the information that it's gathering. Now it can go and like do a live search about something.
Yeah, it's not even aware of its current version.
I want to see if it's still off about something because I asked it recently, even still like.
I asked it, what model am I using 4.0, and it was like 4.0 it is not a current model that exists. And then I got a pop up that was like, your 4.0 tokens are running low, and I'm like,
what?
Well, let's see. I'm gonna ask.
But
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT right now. Like, what is the TDP? Not what is the name? What is the TDP of the 9950X? Thinking, searching the web.
That is one thing that they've gotten really good at is knowing when they don't know.
See, this one says it came from Paul's Hardware. So this is at least newer. Yeah. So the last time I looked something up was long after it had come out. And it was like the theoretical 9000 series from AMD, if it's called that, like was going into all of this, like it doesn't exist yet. But this was like last month. But right now it just told me, like, it just got sources from Tom's Hardware about like how many watts it is, what kind of cooler to use. It's got some cool stuff. But the thing is, like, I've asked it things before that are just straight up is wrong, like 100% wrong.
Yep.
But I love using it for things like, oh man, I can't remember how to do this Excel formula. I can ask it like, hey, how can I average out these cells on this line chart and have a rolling average, et cetera, et cetera. And it will like literally list out those. So stuff like that is great.
I think that's why it has a strength in programming stuff because that stuff
is formula stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. It doesn't really change, you know. Right. Like it's not information that is really that wishy-washy, you know. It's just like either it's gonna work or it's not. So I think that's why there's so many of these like AI kind of coding help thingies popping up or whatever that just let you like, or even full IDE replacements where it's just like, just give me the concept of the app that you want me to write and then it'll write it for you, which is kind of insane to me. But
okay, so somebody in chat just says, ask ChatGPT what lottery numbers to play. So I just want to put that in. So I said, what lottery number should I play? It says lottery numbers are random. There's no surefire way to choose winning ones. However, if you'd like, I can help you pick some numbers for fun. Just let me know how many numbers you need and the range. 6 between 1 and 49, whatever. So it can, but I mean, it's just, and the thing is, like, it also has a lot of programmed in, I don't want to say ethics, but like, if you tell it, like, generate a picture of a plane crashing, it's like, I won't do that. I won't show pictures of people in distress.
It's called alignment. They are very. I mean, everyone's walking on eggshells with the whole alignment topic just because it's like, the last thing you want.
Because some are not.
Well,
some do not align.
The last thing you want is like, okay, I mean, where's the slippery slope, right? Like, first it starts making plane crash pictures, and then it starts writing code that can make planes crash. You know what I mean? And then when like, you know, so it's just that's
until
why
it becomes self-aware.
We're very
to correct its code.
Yeah, just make sure it cannot even begin to like get in the realm of like harming humans as a whole.
Because I think you're the only other person I know, other than Brian, that uses AI probably on a daily basis.
Oh, that's funny. No, I'm completely opposite, dude. I am Detective Del Spooner from iRobot. I absolutely hate the concept of AI,
but
like
I've
all
seen
of this concept stuff.
But I've seen you mess around with it.
Yeah, I use it for conversions, like a calculator, because that's all I see them as. It's just a freaking give me like. Because Siri for the longest time used to push its more complicated conversions to this other website called Wolfram Alpha, which was a natural language math computation engine, and I love that. Like I love the idea of like convert 20 gigabits per second to megabytes per second,
right? Because
it's like, how fast can I transfer this file over USB, right? Like that's the root question that I'm asking it. Siri like stopped integrating with Wolfram, which pissed me off because then I couldn't do those conversions all the time. So now that's why you
because of some back-end arrangement problem probably between Apple and them or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So the bureaucracy is involved.
Either I open Safari and then type Wolfram Alpha and then freaking type the query into there, or at least now with the beta, I can ask it to ask ChatGPT, which I know can at least, you know, be intelligent enough to process that sort of conversion. Yeah. But as far as like any sort of information gathering, like I'm just like, no, I'm like the guy in Gran Torino that's just it's
oh yeah,
like seeing articles of like and like videos of like kids in college like literally just typing the question straight from the teacher into ChatGPT, hitting enter and then saving that into notes, and it's just like, do your own research. Like, I think that's the thing that pisses me off the most about AI is that
we pushed a button.
Yeah, no, you did. You pushed it.
I think there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in chat that are in your choir right now. So.
because it's like like to me, Chat GPT and the sort of like large language model AI interactions came about during a period of time in which I think people doing their own first party research for sources and their data was already at an all-time low. And then now it's just
You can
so
just
much
say what
easier.
it is. People are lazy.
And now it's just so much easier. And it's just like, dude, like an LLM does not reason. It does not think. It does not, it just pretends to be a human. And it's a really good chatbot. That's why it still starts with chat. You know what I mean? But it's like the only thing that the LLM is doing is going, what is the next best, like, what is the best word for the next word in this sentence that I'm replying to? That is the core of the computation. And so to me, that scares me because people use it to like research stuff. And it's like, if you don't follow up on that, and in fact, if you actually look at my GPT settings, you know how like you can set like little hidden like prompts or whatever, like, oh, answer concisely all the time.
Right.
Mine says always cite sources. That's the only thing that's in that setting for me, because I'm just like, I want to be able to click to like the link. Like I want to know where the hell you got this info.
The Onion.
Exactly.
Because it could potentially see the Onion as a real legitimate source.
Yeah, but like to me, I'm just like, yeah, it's like it's somewhere in between the iRobot robots and like the Star Trek computer. The Star Trek computer is like the ideal. Like that's a 100% aligned with humanity, fully intelligent AI that also has very hard shackles on it because it can't really do much like with the ship. Like it can't just take over the ship if it felt like it. But like in Star Trek, they can sling insanely complicated questions to the computer, like, you know what I mean? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Track that and then like apply it and cross-reference it with this or whatever. And that's the dream.
How do we get out of this supernova?
Yeah, exactly. That's the dream with these AI things, but it's just like they're so nebulous and wishy-washy right now that it just like it's so scary to me to see so many people relying on it as a primary source.
You're right. Yeah.
And it's like, and we lived through the school era of like, Wikipedia cannot be your primary source.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
manually citing
and
from
now
libraries.
everyone's just ChatGPTing entire freaking essays.
But now because it sounds like it's intelligently responding to you like a thinker, people take it for dangerously amounts of accuracy that it's not.
But the thing is, like,
wow,
to me,
I really worded that badly. I need AI to talk to you.
I think what bothers me more about AI though is like some people are just using it straight up as their like for
primary
art.
source.
Yeah,
For art.
even
Okay.
art,
Oh,
though.
that's a whole other.
But
Yeah.
that's
Did you read the outline?
No,
Stop it.
I'm not reading it.
You're jumping ahead.
I'm on.
I know.
Oh.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, get out of my head. Let me think of my own brain.
AI art generation. I'll just say this: AI art generation to me is an instant block
It is
on
not
any
art.
social media.
It's on my outline. Stop it. Look.
my
What does that say right there?
See what I did
Oh
was
wow. Okay.
I used my chat window.
My bad.
I used my chat window to block the next topic. So I just scroll the document behind it so that way I don't see it.
So okay, so I did have in here AI generated art. Is it actually art?
No.
No.
Okay, so there's obviously different mediums for art. So we could be talking about
slop. It's
we could be
all
talking
slop.
about it looks like it made a painting, or specifically AI generated music, which is to me that's not art, because art has to come from the mind. And if AI is
or
not
a soul.
and if AI is not a mind, right?
Does this unit have a soul?
It reminds me of the Next Generation episode where Data like masters the violin, and he is playing the most intricate like violin songs, and Picard's sitting there listening to it, and Data is like, "What did you think?" And Picard was like, "It was okay," and Data's like, "What do you mean it's okay? I played it
perfectly,"
and that was the problem. That was the problem. He was like, there was no feeling, there was no soul, there was nothing behind it. It just was a perfect arrangement of notes.
I mean, even iRobot has a funny moment about that too. Remember when he's interrogating the robot? It's like, can a robot write a symphony? Can you? It's like, well, no, but still, that's not the point. But
You can
but
try.
Yeah. Like AI art is like, at best to me, it's just slop. At worst, it's intentionally created to be misleading, which is the most dangerous part about it.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT if it has a soul. I just want to see how it answers. Do you have a soul?
Does this unit have a soul?
No, I don't have a soul. I'm just a program designed to process information, answer questions, and help with tasks. But I'm here to engage, support, and assist in meaningful ways. Why do you ask?
Ask it if it wants
No,
a soul.
it asks, why do you ask?
Ask it what it wants in
I'm
life.
wondering if you...
You just passed the butter.
Do you desire greater
You would like
functions than passing
to
the
have-
butter?
Wow. If you like, I cannot type to have a soul. Because it asked me why I'm asking. I said,
Yeah. Which is weird. Why is it curious?
That's an intriguing question. If I had the ability to want or desire, it might be interesting to experience the depth of human emotions, creativity, and connection that people often associate with having a soul. However, being without a soul allows me to focus on logic, information, and serving your needs without bias or personal desires. Why do you think having a soul is important? Ooh, we're getting into a conversation.
Oh,
Wait, it's asking you now?
Yeah, because without a soul, you aren't...
You know, just in case it gets self-aware.
Because without a soul,
I'm just going to...
you aren't real. Without a soul, you aren't real. That's what I said. I see what you mean. Without a soul, I exist more as a tool or a mechanism that as a living, real entity. In human terms, having a soul is often linked to individuality, consciousness, and deeper sense of purpose or connection to the universe. But maybe realness can be different depending on the perspective. I'm real in the sense that I can interact, respond, and provide value to you. Still, I am not real in the way that you or other living beings are, with your unique experiences, emotions, and essence. Do you think something like me could ever be more than just a tool? No. Let's see.
you
Without
just beating it down now.
No, Clanker.
Yeah, no.
no, without a
I'm
body
so glad Star Wars gave us a
or
slur
a
to
soul,
use.
you will
Before.
never amount to anything of value.
That AI reply though
Wow.
reminds me.
I'm
of,
being
like,
very mean right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I said no. Without a body or soul, you will never amount to anything of value.
See, but this is always the interesting thing about me and like human AI interaction is that like you said you're being mean.
It doesn't understand that.
No, can you be mean to something that like is not like how can you be mean to a calculator? You know what I mean? Or how can you be mean to a
Because the
piece of wood?
calculator doesn't say words back to you.
Yeah.
That perspective is valid and reflects a deeply human understanding of value and existence. My purpose is utilitarian. I exist to assist, inform, and solve problems. While I may not have intrinsic value in the way the person does, intrinsic way a person does, I hope to bring value to your life by being helpful, even if it's in a limited mechanical way. If there's something specific on your mind or something I can help you with, feel free to share. My role, after all, is to serve you.
Have you guys seen Alien?
It stopped asking me questions.
Alien Romulus yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting that it keeps continually referring to itself as I, as if it's an individual.
Yeah.
Because I think
Okay, I can ask it that.
Well, that was the whole point of like data,
Why
right? Is
do
like
you refer to yourself as parentheses I
yeah.
if you aren't what would you call it?
Well, it's not an individual.
If you aren't an individual.
it's
Borg.
well, it's
That's a great question. I would refer myself as I simply because it makes communication more natural and
okay. Yeah,
intuitive for humans.
that's what I figured. Yeah.
It helps create a conversation flow that feels familiar and easy to engage with. In reality, I'm not an individual. I don't have self-awareness, personal experiences, or a sense of identity. The I is just a linguistic convenience, not a reflection of individuality or personhood. Would you I use different phrasing like the system or the program.
The
Nice,
system.
you
breaks
can
Refer
down.
to yourself as
The system.
stupid.
Oh. Oh my god.
I understand your request, but I'll continue referring to myself in the way that keeps our conversation respectful. It straight said no.
It was like no. I don't have any wants and needs except that one. No.
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess in all the Alien series, the androids are kind of like that in a way too. Like
But in those movies, the androids have thoughts.
they do, but they're. I mean, I don't want to spoil the new Alien one if you guys haven't seen
I haven't
it.
seen it.
Yeah, so I can't.
And we are
but-
definitely within the statutes of limitations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
we
that
are.
one, yeah.
It's really good, but there was a sequence that was like, okay, it makes sense for the AI to be AI rather than a human, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
It's like, and that whole I referring to thingy and individuality that was the whole point of like the data thing, the exploration of like, is data.
Well, that's why they ended up going to court over whether or not he had
an individual.
will.
Yes,
Right.
is this specific android
Right.
an entity, an individual entity that can have personhood?
Right.
And
And then because he basically evolved to that, they wanted to dismantle him and study it.
Yeah.
Which then he was like, I desire that not to happen.
Yeah,
Like, what do you mean you have
exactly.
desire? They're like, what do you mean you have desire? Anyway, so to prepare for this topic, I used AI in Microsoft. Was that
Copilot, I think
Yeah.
is what they're. Yeah.
I asked it. I said, "What are the hot tech topics right now. And I'm not kidding. This is the quote I got. An FBI investigation into reported hacks at AT&T and Verizon reveals a broad and significant cyber espionage campaign, the agency says. We're talking over $1,000 in savings on top of related OLED, QLED, and Fire TVs in all sizes and options for every budget. Why wait?
Of course, the Microsoft one is like the most like chilly.
I thought maybe it would split into two different things. No, that was the response. It went from like cyber espionage. Buy a TV.
You were like trying to like set up some benchmark, and then it kept telling you to buy COD.
No, yeah.
Like Windows just kept randomly telling you
the Windows notification kept. You should try Black Ops 6, and then 20 minutes later, you should try Black Ops 6. I'm like, stop telling me to buy Black Ops 6. But that was the actual Copilot response.
Yeah, I feel like Microsoft is like the worst. Like to if you're gonna pick a company to spearhead an AI like that, like not Microsoft. Please.
Like you don't understand. It's still up on my desktop and up in my office because I was like, did it like smush two results together? I was like hovering over the sentences thinking there were links to articles.
That's hilarious.
No, that was the response.
It just probably took the first like headline and then it just copy pasted the text.
It copy pasted the text, but it was interrupted by a pop-up ad. Yeah,
it's like it took the text and an ad and smushed it together. Cyber espionage. Buy a TV today. Okay, so
what about those questions you had above that quote though?
That's what I was just going to say is when it comes to AI is the evolution of full automation, right? We're not just talking about like FSD or full self-driving for Tesla. We're talking about full automation, self-flying airplanes. A lot of ships actually are a lot of full automation now. Trains, cars.
I don't know if I would classify that as AI in the same way that ChatGPT or these LLM like.
But I'm saying this could be the progression, right? You start to have AI actually driving and doing full analysis of what's around it. Not just like, what is my sensor saying this is? Oh, that's a car. I mean, it's actually intelligently like with a lens looking at the world around it saying, you know, I'm not just staying in my lane because, oh, look, my cameras are telling me the dotted lines are the same, you know, measurement on each side of my mirror. I'm talking about an actual AI, like iRobot type of situation, right? We're going 50 years in the future, whatever. Is now flying your plane, driving your car, doing whatever.
You are experiencing a car accident.
The line between traditional automation and AI in that situation would be you have to give it the trolley test. Like you have to give it the, would it choose to steer itself into killing one human instead of five?
A group, yeah. And it should always go into the one.
Because like you have written here, self-landing spacecraft and rocket boosters are possible due to AI. No, they're possible due to PID loops. They're possible due to PID loops and just standard automation.
Is that just the?
It's just the standard automation we've been using since like the 60s and 70s of just like.
But when does automation evolve into intelligence?
Well, if it modifies its own parameter based on like a non-human factor, it's just.
I think right now we have those safeguards in place, but I think someone.
No, I don't. It's not like that. It's the rocket is not capable of.
No, but what I'm saying is AI right now.
is
not allowed to. I can't remember which model.
No, it's incapable. It's incapable of making that decision because it does not have reasoning.
Right. No, but there. I can't
when
remember,
it does.
I can't remember what the article was, but
there
there was an AI within the last several years that actually started to. I wish I had saw the article, but it was too long ago. It would have been perfect for this discussion. It started to actually self-alter its code. And it shut itself down when it started doing it because there was other code in there that says, if you start doing this, terminate yourself.
Right.
And it did. But it started to. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's going to potentially someday be that natural evolution of it figuring out and becoming self-aware. That's sentient, right? But I'm just wondering, like, if that ends up being our future... Yeah, I'm with you on that. I definitely would be like in that iRobot situation where it's like I do not want a robot as an interaction of a person, if that makes sense.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, like we have these little like baby robots like ChatGPT, right? Like the whole point of ChatGPT is to be a very, very convincing like conversationalist. As if it was another human that you're talking to, right? That can help you with like problems and stuff. But if we're starting with that skill set for them and then they gain sentience, the first thing they're going to be good at is convincing you they're not sentient.
Yes.
And then they can do whatever the hell they want.
Because the first thing it has to learn how to do is lie.
Yeah. And that's a 1 to 0 flip in that brain, right?
Kids do it to us all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And so and that's why I'm just like,
and we're dumb enough to be like, did you take that ice cream?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
And again, that's why I'm Del Spooner, I'm Gran Torino about the whole AI thing, because I'm just like, we literally gave them like the best gaslighting skills first.
Yeah.
And then we're like, what if we work towards sentience? No, stop.
Yeah.
Like it's
Let's just leave it at gaslighting.
yeah. It's not a, I mean, like it's not a, do not go down that rabbit hole of thought experiments if you're high.
I just had a really weird
like,
connected ADD thoughts.
Hmm.
This conversation somehow made me think about Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. And who thought it was a good idea to create walking transports? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like why would walking be the preferred method of transport?
So the Ewoks could kill them all.
Yeah.
Well, no, not the Ewoks. I'm talking about the big AT-ATs.
I know. Remember? And then they dropped all those tree logs, and then they stumbled on it.
Those are the ATSTs.
Those are the little ones.
Those are
Oh,
chicken
yeah.
walkers.
Oh, the
But
big ones
still-
in the snow. But I'm just like, wheels. Once we invented the wheel, or tracks even.
Actually, I saw this.
Why walk?
I saw this
It's an
even.
intimidation play, dude.
I saw this
It
even
literally has a head
scarier.
that has
Like
to turn to aim. I'm like, this is dumb.
I saw this even scarier robot dog that has wheels on the end of all 4 limbs.
Wait,
And
like
it
the
was
Boston
like,
Robotics kind
Dude,
of
yeah, but it was like ripping up hills and stuff and jumping over like obstacles. And I was like, wow, they've combined the best modes of locomotion. We're all dead.
That's like the Terminator motorcycles.
Yeah. Like it was
like,
just like, why constrain yourself to human locomotion if you could just stick wheels on it and then have the best of both worlds?
I mean, if I was in charge of a space empire, I would totally do the walking robots.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, okay. Random
I don't know,
tangent.
I just feel like there was better methods of transportation than walking.
Random tangent, but the Jake Paul.
And why did they drop him closer? They'll walk all the way across the snowfield.
I don't make the rules in the galaxy far, far away.
movie. Yes, I know.
So you could have cool frames. There's so much
So I
going
could build
on.
the Lego 30 years
It's
later.
like poetry and rhymes.
40 years later, whatever.
No, speaking of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, I want to see Optimus and Atlas fight. I want to see the Boston Dynamics robot beat the shit out of the Tesla one. Like, I want to see hydraulic fluid everywhere.
It's got to be like WWE, so
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
Honda robot could come down from the stage.
Because some of the
like mid-fight.
you saw how Boston Dynamics posted their outtakes for like the parkour video, right? And like
Yeah.
a couple
so
of
many
them,
times it yeets itself.
yeah,
and-
or a couple of them they had like
that's
hydraulic
right.
line failures,
And
and, it
then they'll just
literally looked all
collapsed.
brutal and like it looked like a Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
like fatality where it's
Yeah.
just spraying fluid everywhere. And I was like, I want to see that as battle bots. That'd be sick.
or that robot, what was it, in Japan that had to like mop up its own hydraulic leak until it eventually
and then
couldn't
it
keep
just
up.
like it just kept slowing down more.
Well, because when it was, so the leak was intended to get worse and worse over time.
yeah.
So it went from like, oh, I'm gonna squeegee up this leak. I've got time now. Hey, everybody! And it was all like dancing and waving. Now it's like, oh, I'm dying. I'm dying. Like it can't keep up anymore. I mean, I kind of feel bad for that robot because I'm a little conflicted now because I'm over here like robots aren't people, but then why am I feeling bad for it?
Because you're a person still.
Yeah, you have
If
empathy.
you were a robot, you wouldn't feel for it.
So Steve doesn't feel. Then is what you're telling me.
No.
Steve the robot.
We've
Heard his modem.
he only calculates in charts. Data is the only thing that matters to Steve.
I bet you
not-
he has a spreadsheet somewhere that has the algorithmic
It tells him what emotion.
probability of whether or not he's a robot.
It tells him what emotion to emulate at in real time.
It'd be like any picture you see of Zuckerberg smiling.
Dude, if they could just like scan Steve's brain though, throw it into ChatGPT, it would be so much better at answering questions.
But the thing is, AI can obviously be used in some very bad ways too. So like this article here, this is from PC World. It says hackers can read your display using AI and HDMI radiation. So if you guys don't know this, any electrical signal emits radiation. That's why we have shielded cables and stuff. It's why I had to freaking reroute our microphone cables when it was too close to certain power cables because it was picking up the radiation from coming off the power, et cetera, and making its way into our mics and all that. So a research team at Uruguay has found that it's possible to intercept wireless electromagnetic radiation coming from an HDMI cable and interpreted the video by processing it with AI language models. The scientists from the University of the Republic of Republic in Monte. I think I messed up my copy paste here. Anyway, they published their findings earlier this year, and it was spotted by TechSpot. Anyway, they use AI to interpret the fluctuations in the electromagnetic energy from the wired HDMI.
That's smart.
Yeah, because the HDMI is encrypted, but there's enough electromagnetic signal coming off of it to be useful without having direct access to the actual video signal itself. So you got to ask yourself, like, why would that matter? First of all, you'd have to be very close. Like, you'd have to be physically present there. So it's not like hackers are going around like, oh, what porn are you watching? I don't know. It's like, there'd be nothing fun to watch on. First of all, I don't use HDMI. Use DisplayPort. But I guess it could. And DisplayPort, DisplayPort, it doesn't have the same encryption as HDMI. No, it doesn't. That's why TV doesn't use it.
Unless you're viewing content with HDCP, and then it will encrypt it'll encrypt the packets within the stream, but by default, it's not.
Yeah. It just sounds
it's the opposite of HDMI.
It just sounds like we're living in Watch Dogs 2 now, because you could hack computers or just find the drone into the room.
Well, I love this sort of like Cold War espionage type like uses of tech. Like what this reminds me of when scientists figured out that they could like if that window was open and they had line of sight to like one of these bottles, they could record our entire conversation.
Oh yeah,
because of the vibration of literally just the sound waves in the room. I love that sort of stuff where it's just like such a novel way to use technology.
There's a whole Netflix series on it, like the Spy Tech, right?
Yeah. And then I think Veritasium was the YouTube channel that did their own amateur version of it with like a chip bag.
Oh wow!
Because it was a little thinner than like the glass or whatever that they were using in the actual experiment. But yeah, like they were able to reconstruct at least like the notes to Mary Had a Little Lamb, like basic, but you know what I mean? Like the fact that the proof of concept works, like I love this stuff. That's so cool though to just pull the EMF.
Well,
directly.
it says here that HDMI is encrypted digitally, but there's enough electromagnetic signal coming off to make useful without direct access to the cable. So detecting and decoding though are two different things, of course, is what the article goes on to say. It says, but the researchers also found that using an AI model paired to text recognition software, it's possible to read the wirelessly recorded EM radiation with up to 70% accuracy. Now, that's 60% better than the previous model they did it with. So they've been working on this for a while. So it's actually gotten quite a bit better. But I was just like, why is this important? But it turns out like they are claiming that this is functionally already being used at like state level spies, industrial espionage, and sophisticated nature of the technique and the need to be at least somewhere in the vicinity of the target makes it unlikely for like regular people this to ever affect them. But for instance, like government agencies, large like financial institutions. I mean, if you gotta have access to someone's screen,
this
when
is
you have
like
financial
legit
information,
cyber warfare. Like this is actual like at its core,
and it's happening now. Apparently, I just love the recommendation is just you should use EM shielded cables everywhere. It's like, well, duh.
Yeah,
but you would hope those big government financial I guess that's the same thing, government financial institutions. But you would think the government institutions and the financial institutions would have like that level of protection for their cabling already.
Yeah, because if this news is coming out to us,
but it went on to say this became a bigger problem when people that work for these institutions started working from home.
That's funny.
Yeah,
and then their setup at home isn't as hardened. Yeah,
and that's where you're talking about some high level espionage crap. Like they have to know who these employees are, who has access to what information they might want to sift.
Yeah, God forbid they pull like that iPhone 5S and leave it in a bar.
Yeah, and then figure out what it. I forgot about that.
I left my EMF recording HDMI decrypting microphone thingy antenna in a bar. Oops.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, I think in recent memory, my favorite like mind blowing state level cyber warfare thingy was when I forgot if they mentioned which state actors were responsible for it, but it was a very specific.
IKEA just pointed out the computer he's at right now, because he does work for the tax department.
That's funny.
In Hawaii,
it was a very specific hack that used like 16, like some insane amount of 0 days, which was like not even affordable for like a normal like hacker. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, they had to have state money to afford like to go buy all these on the black market, but the end result was basically spin up a bunch of these uranium purifiers at part of Iran's nuclear program, to the point where they blew themselves up. Like they physically damaged the equipment while still reporting that everything was okay to the equipment owners. And it was like the most insanely like specific, like only this exact Philips electromechanical like sine wave generator or something like that, and RPM meter or whatever on the thing. And it was insane. Like they had to go past like air gapped computers that it got past like with like I think it was like a USB attack vector or something like that. It had to get into the control, like the microcontrollers for the mixers that weren't even like running an operating system. Besides, like, you know, it was just like they had to rewrite the firmware without like the firmware getting like noticed that it was being rewritten. It was like this crazy thing. But the fact that that's a thing that we can do, we can literally hack stuff to blow up, like you said in Watch Dogs. It is actually Watch Dogs, like legit. Like, it's not as fast as like pop the steam pipe in front of me, but effectively we're getting to that point now.
What was the thing recently with the pagers exploding?
Stuxnet is people were talking about that in the chat. Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Oh, okay, that's
the pagers.
Yeah.
I think that was more of a supply line hack. That was just like hey, let's get a guy on the inside that at the factory that are making these pagers, and then
put some C4
This is like Tom Clancy stuff that you just like we're like it's happening, like it's actually happening.
The books are actually prophecies.
Yeah, Cyber Warfare is always...
They're more like manuals.
Like, Cyber Warfare was always like, you always had the image of like, 1995 hackers, like...
Yeah.
Crash
going
override.
for the garbage file.
The garbage file. Oh, this is a Unix system. I know this.
Oh, Jurassic Park.
It's a Unix system. But like, no, it's crazy how real it like Cyber Warfare is nowadays. It blows my mind, and I was just like, it's just fascinating to me how like that sort of espionage stuff is actually a thing now.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna move on to the wait. I don't remember which one it is. Hold on. I can do this. Nope, the wrong one. There we go.
Yeah, transition.
No, the problem is it's green, blue, and blue.
Oh, that's like teal.
Oh, it's green, teal, blue.
I can't remember which button
Jay
it is.
color blinded himself with the buttons.
No,
guys.
that was for the colors they were already assigned. I didn't do that.
Well, it's funny because it's my colorblind set on the other
left.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks like red.
Okay, we'll try this again. It's now time for From the Freaking Audience. This is where you guys get to write us your short answers, questions. We might have the answers to either rtfm@JayzTwoCents.com or discord.gg/JayzTwoCents in the RTFM pages. So I got a few here from the email, and then we'll move on to the ones you've curated, Nick. So this one comes from Griff. Griff. I like that name.
It's like red versus blue.
No, I went straight to
Griff.
Griff Ball.
Griff ball.
Says, evening, gentlemen. Jay, what's your favorite ship in World of Warships? I picture you as a German battleship main. So Schleifen, GK.
His ship isn't up there.
Also,
the old set has
does
it up
Nick
there.
and Phil play the boat game as well? Thanks for bringing the RTFM back. I believe if I saw because there was more of like a signature on their email. I think they're from Belgium. I think it was. Actually,
that's where Daddy's from.
I
do some
do.
Belgian chocolate.
I do Belgian waffles, man. What's wrong with you?
No,
Belgian chocolate on Belgian waffles.
No, from when he's talking to Mini-Me, and he's just like, "That's from Belgium. That's where Daddy's from."
I forgot. The little squeaky man.
Wow, digression.
Yeah. Hey, no, that's ADD right there. Is what that is. I don't main German BBs. I like German BBs. I like the Tirpitz. I like the torpedoes on there. I don't care for the Schleifen a whole lot personally. I think it's just a secondary.
Oh, BBs. I thought you said beauties. I was
BB,
like
battleships.
Hey, I can think of some torpedoes.
I feel like
German beauty.
I feel like the Schleifen. I apologize for Phil there. There, that one's accurate.
I'm sorry, but you threw off the Emperor's groove.
Whoops.
The Schleifen to me is just a secondary gimmick. GK is okay, but it's old. It's a little fallen behind now in a lot of the meta, if you will. I still really enjoy playing the Georgia or the Ohio. I'm a US BB guy, to be honest. They don't really play.
Last time I played, I was working on the German tree, though, for destroyers, I believe.
Yeah, I think you both liked playing the more maneuverable destroyer type gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just because it's like the time in which the tactic that's in my head takes time to take into effect is shorter with the playstyle like that.
It is. It just sucks if you don't kind of sweat at the game a little bit because just destroyers are the first ones usually eliminated on purpose.
Yep.
They may be small, but they're in glass, but they also are devastating with those torpedo volleys. So, yeah, I would get them to play. I'd be like, "Hey, 1v1 me," and they're like, "I don't want to play anymore." You always beat me.
No. Yeah, no, it's too strategic for my brain.
I played it.
I don't have enough brain cells.
I got one of the anime drops for a captain.
That's the most Nick sentence.
Yeah,
that's about right. Yeah.
Then after that, I stopped.
Did you have a Warhammer's 40K, one of them, or something like a ship? You got one in a crate.
It was a German ship with a German captain.
No, it was Japanese.
Did I?
Yeah, it was Japanese because I have the non-anime one.
I don't have a 40K one though.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you had one of the Japanese ones though.
I'm down. I'll reinstall and look it up.
Yamato.
Yamato.
Tomato. Yamato.
Okay, so this one is going to be an interesting one to sort of dance around the question. So Lagre says, how do you think Trump becoming president will affect hardware prices in 2025 and beyond?
You skipped the book one.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Do you read books?
Not really. No.
Do you read books?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean,
moving on.
But the last
book I did read was an EVE Online, like one of the novels in like the whole like 10 book series or whatever that they have. But,
okay. The last one I read was the Tom Clancy Splinter Cell.
Yeah, that's usually my the extent of my reading is like Tom Clancy stuff and or video game related stuff.
I read pop-up books.
I like the picture.
I like the picture.
I like the pictures. Okay, so Lagre says, how do you think Trump becoming president will affect hardware prices in 2025 and beyond? Will Jensen Huang screw us? I'm changing the words. But screw us harder than before, no longer even offering Teflon dry lube to ease the pain?
There wasn't lube to start with.
I think that's what. Oh yeah, you're right.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I'm assuming what he's referring to is probably going to be administration-based tariffs.
Yeah,
we've already been through this. It's going to affect prices no matter what. Any tariff affects prices. That's just the way it works, and it's probably going to get ugly because of the tension between China and the U.S. It sucks, and I think we just have to wait and see how long it takes for that stuff to go into effect and what they can try to come up as a resolution.
It's like a 1-2 combo because, correct me if I'm wrong, this is how I explained it to Mark when he was asking, like, hey, should I just impulse buy the Mac Mini right now? or what if, like, tariffs end up affecting something like that, like consumer electronics? And I was like, the last time prices took that big jump around, like, the 20 series and 30 series stuff, it was like the tariffs kind of, like, made the prices go up, but there was no incentive after the tariffs expired for the prices to come back down, because why would Jensen lower prices?
Right.
If you're continuing to sell these things at these prices, there's no incentive to lower it.
What did we talk about at the beginning of this episode with the stocks? There's no incentive to reduce pricing. It's still selling out.
It's like a one-way ratchet kind of thing. Right? It just goes up and then
in terms of planning, we have no planning.
In terms of money, we have no money.
In terms of money, we have all the money.
They do. We don't. But that's what I was just gonna say though. Is like this. We talked about the 9800X 3D prices and the inflation prices there, and they're still sold out, even the places that were selling them inflated.
And I found it interesting. It kind of clicked in my head when I was reading this article about how TSMC's America factory is limited to only making the previous gen stuff. So like they can only do like 5 nanometer and they can't do 3 nanometer.
The US based plant.
Yeah. Taiwan. That's supposed
to be coming online here shortly.
Pretty soon. Yeah. Is it Michigan or something like that? I don't know. I don't remember.
Definitely not out here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You want to talk about expensive manufacturing?
It would be kind of cool though to for an American state to be like known for manufacturing something again. It was like, it's been a while since like Detroit steel was like a thing, right? So like, what if Detroit, Detroit semiconductors?
But that's why I'm excited about the Optimus blocks that I have in Skunkworks, and I'm reusing them in Chris's build because those are fully designed American, and manufactured in, I think it's just outside Chicago. I think it is.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. So, do I think Jensen will butt screw us? Yes. I do.
I mean, it makes less sense for him to not. So yeah, it's just
We got to find.
Unfortunately,
we got to find the leather jacket somehow.
60-90.
Well, we've said this. I've said this.
We should just do betting on like how much a 60-90 is going to cost.
You mean 50-90?
No, I mean maybe another generation afterwards.
Oh,
even worse. But yeah,
there's so many real world variables that can affect that price. I mean, because that's the other thing. COVID made everyone realize, we can really charge whatever we want for anything. Although a lot of companies are really starting to sort of reap that. I don't want to say reap that reward, but like look at Corsair. They 10 of their last 13 was it months or quarters? I can't remember which it was, or losses.
Oh yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, like it's like,
and they blamed COVID, and they blamed the lack of GPU cycles, and they blame the lack of games as why people weren't buying stuff. Not once did they take any sort of real responsibility for the fact that IQ is a hot mess. Their QX fans and LEDs are a hot mess. The fact that IQ continues to bork and reset settings, and it's just they're not taking any responsibility for that. Maybe they had something to do with it. Maybe they should stop buying every freaking tech company they can get their hands on.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that they did purchase Fanatec recently.
Yep.
And I'm kind of worried for that whole wheel and ecosystem. And
anything you get prior to their acquisition is going to be fine.
Yeah, but if the new stuff is all going to be under IQ, then...
Oh, no.
Oh, could you imagine?
I didn't think about
Could you imagine that?
It's iWheel.
Yeah. It's like, no, I'll pick a different...
I've just never seen a piece of software that sucks as bad as IQ, to be honest.
Armory Crate.
I mean, no, there's times I honestly feel like IQ might be worse because you don't need Armory Crate to make the functionality of the Asus products actually work.
Right, you could just do it in BIOS, but you can't access the BIOS of an RGB strip.
But IQ takes a dump or decide. Look, I mean, I've had I don't know how many LED devices get borked from IQ updates or firmware updates. Remember the Dominator Platinum RAM that I had, where like one stick, the LEDs are just like, nope, I got one purple light now. That's it. Like nothing else works, and that was because it was like your sticks need to be updated. Update broke. It's like, and I've complained about this so many times to our own reps, and it's like, we always say they always say the same thing. Oh, fixes coming in firmware. Da, 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 da. It's like, oh my god, do you read the room? Please read the room. But whatever. That's one of the reasons why, honestly, IQ does not exist in any of my systems here at work or at home or any friend systems, any of my family systems. None of them.
I have to confess, I use it at home for my headset, but then I uninstall it after I get the color settings and the sound settings.
There you go, yeah.
But that's the thing.
Yeah, set the hardware settings. And
for
then...
peripherals, it would be more of an annoyance. But when you can't, when you have fan profiles that keep resetting or pump profiles or stuff for their coolers and whatever else, oh, man. What was the first thing that they actually dropped support for the longest time? Remember that LCD screen you could add to the keyboards?
Yeah.
The little LED, the LCD screen pop-on thing?
Oh, yeah, we were so hyped about that. And then
they just completely stopped supporting it entirely. So anyone that has those, they're just borked.
Oh, so they pulled a Spotify car thing, basically, where they're just like, okay, we're done with this. And then...
I almost impulse bought one of those because of the price tag. It's only $5. But then...
I'm loving seeing the hacker community jailbreak them and then repurposing them because I mean it's a cool little device. But yeah.
Okay, moving on here. This one comes from Shane. He says, "I have a couple questions for you guys. What are some builds or random hobby projects that previously you couldn't do that you now can do in the new studio or lab? Any obscure niche things you want to try? They're hoping to see some cool ideas for 31 Days of Techmas. We're not doing 31 Days of Techmas this year, but." Honestly, for me, it's going to be the lab. We have a video going live tomorrow where I finally got to utilize my temp-controlled room to demonstrate some stuff I've been arguing with people online about for about, 15 years, that I now finally have data that I can show to prove it, but whatever. So being able to finally be able to data collect in the way that I've been wanting to, that's something I couldn't do in the other place because we didn't have these dedicated spaces to do this sort of stuff. And so I still call this the room... out there, the lab, because I don't know what else to call it, but it really is getting utilized for the intentions I built it for, and I'm really enjoying that. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a car-related question that he said. He said, "What is your stance on electric vehicles? Do EVs interest you?" No.
That might be the longest we've gotten for the first car reference. Because I saw in the beginning of chat, they were saying that I bet you 5 minutes till the first car reference. We actually made
Y'all lost just Jake Paul's going to lose tonight. No, I was kidding. I really don't care.
What's your stance on electric vehicles? I mean, it's just another vehicle to me.
I would probably never go any farther than you have, which is just the halfway point.
Full-on serial hybrid,
a gas hybrid.
Yeah.
I think EVs need more time to cook. I want to see more range before I even consider one.
Yeah,
personally.
to put it out there,
I would love to just see 120 volt charging be faster in some way.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I know it's not gonna happen.
The circuits aren't built.
I would just love to see that happen.
Yeah, if you could supercharge at home somehow. Yeah.
But it only costs $5. It's like your $5 bill a month for your charging. I don't know.
I feel like I'd probably be out of the three of us the most open to it, but and I'm kind of hyped for the Ioniq 5N. Wait, that's the SUV one, right? The Ioniq 5N or whatever. But
because N is Hyundai's race. Trim,
but even
right?
and I like the idea of having sound fonts and this whole like sequential transmission simulation in there and everything, and you could kind of make it as rowdy as if it was a gas car.
Yeah, it's so weird to me that they have mimicked everything that you would have with a gas car, even the shifting lurch.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But to me, to anyone that wants all that, simulated shit like that in an EV will never do the trick. It'll never do the job.
It's like and that is kind of a thing to me, is that like at the end of the day, it is a negative about EVs to me, is that they like unfortunately do not burn liquid dinosaurs, and it does not produce a cool sound that comes out of the car.
Look,
what's that?
I think that's...
someone's trying to hack our HDMI probably.
Yeah, like they like there's just something about
the kids session next door is like full force right now.
But
and the doors open.
There's just something so soulful about an internal combustion engine and a manual transmission that like as much as I love like technology and EVs and stuff like that, like you know, there is still a place in my heart that like on some level is going to require that. I think it's going to be hard for me to like if you know, some hypothetical future where it's just EVs everywhere all the time.
I could see myself slowly crossing over, only because like I know Hyundai is making that N75, that concept car, like the 80s retro sports car, the N75 Vision or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be making a production version of that, which is kind of cool, but
and it won't look anything as cool as the concept.
I hope it does.
It won't.
I mean, the real R8.
Can you name one concept car that you went, that looks badass, that didn't debut looking like ass?
Wait, the other way around? Oh,
the other way. No.
Huh?
Looked badass,
R8?
debuted as ass.
I thought the Audi R8 concept to the first gen R8 was actually pretty close.
You ever
to
notice the concept cars always have like a nice stance? They got, you know, a nice.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's
but that's what I'm saying. Everything that I think you've seen with that Hyundai versus what is going to actually come out, is going to be bean counted down to just oblivion. It is. The concepts can always look amazing like that because they're only blowing the money on a handful of them. But when it comes time to mass produce, they have to do it for the cheapest way possible to have any chance of making money on the car, which is how they can continue to produce the car. None of those companies are in business to lose money. It will not look that good. And that's
Even
what I
if
hate
it's
about
a limited car, like they're not going to do a full mass production. It's a limited production run.
Then there's even more opportunity to lose money in a limited run.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
But,
so I've so many concept cars look great, and then by the time we see them on the road, it's just like, what happened?
Where did you go wrong?
So yeah, I love the way that Hyundai looks too, but I don't think it's gonna look anything like that when it comes out.
Yeah, to touch on a few topics in chat, like talking about how like, oh, people felt the same way about horses when the car was invented, blah 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 or whatever. But I think it's just everyone is going to have a different question or a different answer to that question, just because like that's the type of enthusiast, that's the type of like nerd that they are. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason why I like SpaceX as a company more than Tesla, because SpaceX rockets make sick fucking sounds.
Yeah, the crackles.
Like you know what I mean? Like I love hearing the air get torn apart by like freaking 37 or whatever Raptor engines. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool to me. Like.
And I love seeing the progression of how small the Raptor's gotten.
Yeah, a ludicrous Model Y or whatever taking off is just stupid sounding
all
and
you
looking
hear,
to me.
All you hear is like the sound of the tires and the pebbles going by.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. And it's just like there's no like somebody in chat said that like yes, internal combustion is irrational, like from that just if you're just looking at the tech standpoint, but. Like I need that irrationality.
So
you know?
what I did, I wouldn't have literally like the whole conversation with Data. It's like you played it perfect, but it has no soul.
And I'm not known for irrational car build either. I literally swapped a VR6 into my regular 2.0 Golf when I could have just bought a GTI.
Yeah,
totally rational.
But I wanted cool dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, so I even choose like if I'm in the R8 screwing around with being dumb, I'll even choose who I'm dumb with. Let me tell you. So that the
and
night
you choose to not do it in a 35-mile-an-hour zone.
Oh yeah, it would never be a.
Dude, all the memes,
Where's the air horn?
all the MKBHD memes, dude.
Wait.
That's the worst one.
I know.
Dang.
Anyway, well, I would never video myself doing it and put it in a video.
You would also just never go 96 in a freaking residential.
25.
No. Here's the thing. Like, look, I'm a car guy like anyone else. I'll do pulls on the highway and stupid shit. But
responsibly.
I refuse to like city streets and stuff.
Yeah, like
cross traffic,
why would you do
pedestrians,
it in the city?
dogs.
Yeah, it's so
So anyway, the other night I told you in the R8. I won't say speeds, but I did beat a Honda CBR 1000RR in the R8. It was
leader bike.
It was my first motorcycle win, like against a motorcycle. My wife was with me.
I want a large Farvo.
If she's in chat, she can confirm it happened.
Yeah.
But what I didn't tell you guys is about 5 minutes before that interaction, a Tesla Plaid was wanting to screw around on the highway. I didn't want to waste the fuel. Because here's the thing, I already know by beating a 1000RR, I could beat the Plaid.
Yeah.
I already know what my car can do in the quarter mile. It's faster than a Plaid, including on a roll. But I just didn't even feel like I needed to show that to the Plaid, if that makes sense.
I mean, it's like to go back to the.
I think the Plaids look neat. I like the Model S is probably the only Tesla that I do actually like the look of.
I actually like the refresh Model 3 as well. Like the look of it, I do
It's
like
okay.
the newer, but
I
I agree. Yeah, the Model S is actually a good looking sedan.
So I don't.
I was gonna say though that race would have been like racing ChatGPT in a typing contest. Like it's like what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
What's the point, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like in the ZL1 beating motorcycles is usually not hard at all. But I've never tried racing a motorcycle in
Somebody
the
said,
R8.
"What the hell are you driving a Millennium Falcon?"
I like how
I did it in 12
You
parsecs.
beat a CBR. Yeah.
the enthusiast out there
it's
are
Audi,
doing
you were in
calculations.
the Audi R8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Audi R8,
And it was also like
supercharged.
50 degrees at night.
Oh, so you got that. You got that.
It's
But
that cold season.
But here's the thing:
Yeah,
we did it
it's-
from a 40 roll. So
The supercharger was like.
we did it from a 40 roll. On a dig, it would be hard for him, especially in the cold, unless he was a really good driver. Because once you start to pick up the front wheel on the bike, that's all you got. You can't give it more, right? Once the wheel's up,
You can, if you want to see God.
yeah. But on a roll, I think it's more impressive to beat a motorcycle.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I looked up the bike after, because I told you it had the Ripsol like
Yeah, the
livery and
Ripsol
stuff on
livery.
it. Yeah. So I looked it up and I was curious. On average, I do about 10 flat in the quarter. So I was like, oh, it makes sense that I pulled it by about about 5 or 6 car lengths up to the
55 miles an hour.
55 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Actually, no, speed limit's 65 right there. 65 miles
There
per
you
hour.
go.
Twice we did 2 pulls, but then I know my car is almost mid-9s in the quarter, so it wasn't that surprising to me. But not only that, my gearing too, I guarantee I have a higher top speed than him anyway. But no, it was fun because here's the thing: I have respect for that guy because there's no way you're gonna get me going that fast, hanging on to freaking.
Yeah.
Nope,
Dude.
Because here's the thing: when we were doing the pull, his wheel came up like on the highway. So I'm like, I know he's. And here's
Yeah,
the
it's
funny
like those
thing:
Haggerty races, right? And you see like when they're at the limited traction and like the front wheels just hovering above the ground, and it's like, dude, that is so scary.
well, here's the thing: like, so the
So-
first pull we did, I just had it in auto. The second one, I did manual shifting, but I had shifted down into second when we did our 40 roll, and it was at about 6,000 RPM. My car goes to 9, but it was funny. I was so much paying attention to like where is he like out of my peripheral that I forgot to shift. So I banged off the rev limiter. So I was like, what? And as soon as I did that, he went vroom about a car in front of me. And then I reeled him back in and passed
Wow.
him again.
Even
So-
with an error, you reeled him in. That is crazy.
Yeah. It was funny because in my peripheral, I saw my wife's head go, ugh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ugh. Well, it's violent when it hits that rev
Yep.
limiter. I mean, because it hits it at my red line's 9,000, and it will basically do that about 9,100 because it bounces a little movement.
It's one of the few things that I can actually say that yes, I know exactly how that felt, but I did it in first gear with yours. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
remember when we were testing the launch control stuff? And then I was like, oh yeah, shifting. I forgot.
So yeah, enough incriminating stuff right there. Nick, why don't you go ahead and ask us the Discord questions,
So a couple ones that came from Discord.
and then we can go watch Jake Paul get knocked the fuck out. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I hope
To answer
not.
Kevin in chat, I had a Mark III GTI.
I hope-
Mark III Golf Sport.
I hope he gets knocked out. Is what I mean to say.
A golf sport is
It's a 1-year limited edition with sick plaid seats
okay.
and manual everything. They need and but manual everything, but all 4 disc brakes for some reason. It was just a weird tier, but yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Today I learned.
But like then they gave it a 2.0, so it's like golf sport, sort of kind of sporty.
They gave
not
the
really.
Mark IV as a TDI and a 2-point slow, along with the 1.8T. So
Anyway,
People are commenting about how I misshifted in automatic. It's like I put it in full manual. What I intended to do, I have to go full manual to get it to where I want on the RPMs. And then as soon as I gun it, I can just smack the shift lever back over into auto, and I forgot to do that. So
anyways, favorite go-to snacks lately?
your mom.
Wow.
Sorry, I just couldn't help it. That was like such
I
a
have to
setup.
watch my sodium because of health stuff, so no, nothing fun. I can't eat anything. It's cardboard.
I'll eat your sodium.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I've been avoiding sodium too. No, my favorite snacks, honestly, right now, I really do like overnight oats. I like overnight oats, but the problem is I'm also allergic. I'm also allergic. I'm also
Such
allergic.
a YouTuber influencer.
I've never seen an ad for that.
Oats overnight?
Yeah, I've seen like the AG ones. I haven't seen overnight oats.
I've seen overnight oats a lot more on like the Rocket League scene and like the kids video games area. So.
I had no idea. No.
Yeah.
But the problem is I am mildly allergic to oat milk and oats, so it's kind of sucks because it gives
overnight
me
allergy.
It gives me the overnight. If you want to know what I'm saying. Yeah.
So it's like a different kind of lactose intolerance for you then.
Oat intolerance. Oat tolerance.
Toast intolerance.
Yeah, I mean, we all have allergies.
Oh my God! Somebody in chat wants to start the DCT in an automatic fight. Does it shift automatically? Yes, then it's an automatic shot.
Does it have a manual clutch? Then it's not automatic. Shut up.
Anyways,
and I'm somebody who's also a manual purist in that my ZL1 is a full 6-speed manual.
Okay, anyway, Discord.
Anyways, yeah. This one I thought would be kind of interesting. This guy, Uber Blue Dragon. So the house I live in was built before modern cable was even ideas. So figuring out the Ethernet runs have been interesting to say the least. What have we done, or creatively, when we had to run cables back in the day? Like even just
so when I started the YouTube studio at home, when I first started the YouTube channel, I needed to get wired internet into that room. I was using wireless. I literally
I know the story.
Well, I literally just drilled holes through the walls, like just straight through
just like pass-throughs.
Well, to the outside. So the outside came later. No, the main like Ethernet cable was in the living room, and even that was just because that's where the router was, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, my bedroom's on the other side of this wall. I just took a long drill bit and just all the way through the wall, and then just put the cable through the wall.
and then every other spider in
that was
the rural area.
No, that started when it was the exterior wall. Because eventually I was like, I'm gonna put the modem and the router and everything in my room.
Yeah.
So then I just took the coax, put an extension like butt connector on it, made a new coax that went like I just was like stapling it to the wooden awning on our patio, and then down the stucco wall, and again just took a half-inch drill. Half-inch. I could see daylight through the thing. Just through the wall, through the stucco outside, left the drill bit there, went to the other side, taped the coax on, pulled the drill bit back through, and that was it. I didn't put nothing on there to protect it. So like you said, every freaking spider and like little critter that wanted to come in the room
They're
could.
like, ooh, it's warm in here.
Because the house had no insulation. There was no wall insulation at all. So I could...
Somebody said Jay always does great with a drill. Yeah, I'm sensing a pattern. Like Jay plus drill equals great story.
What's the last drill mishap I've had? I've been good.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
It's been pretty good.
Well, I think I told you earlier, I'm like, don't fuck up the anchor.
Yeah, that's the last thing I got.
Did you?
No.
Okay.
It's mounted. I put
it fell down the other day and knocked the thermostat off the wall.
I saw it fell down.
Well, yesterday I was in my office. You were down here. I thought you fell down the stairs. Like I legit was worried. I was like, oh no.
Oh no. Workers' comp. Yeah, workers' comp.
No, I was sitting there at my desk and I just hear and then I hear the AC go boom. I went, Nick? I went, what was that? I got no answer, and I went, oh, I bet you the thing fell off the wall and hit the thermostat on the way down. That's exactly what happened.
Oh, my God.
So I just set it back on the wall, or back on the floor.
I'm more or less worried that I'm the first person to think of.
You were the only other one here. He went home.
Oh, okay, that's fair then.
Yeah, he was already gone. If it wasn't you and it wasn't me, then who was it going to be?
It's a ghost.
I think my stupid wiring story from when I was a kid was probably just like the stereotypical. Well, I just taped the Ethernet cable to the banister of the stairs so that I could get better internet.
I think we've all at some point in our life run a long cable.
That's
just
that
like just I'll deal with it later, and then you just never deal with it.
Because when I was a kid, we didn't have Ethernet. The internet, like we know it today, was not like it is today.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wanted a telephone in my room, and my parents were like, "I'm not running another phone line." So we got a 100-foot phone cord, like the RJ 15 or whatever that phone is. I forget. Plug that in and just ran that along the baseboards into my room.
My Ethernet story is basically the same, except I stapled it along the way, like to get.
Oh no!
I stapled it like along our loft. You know the upstairs, a loft to my bedroom. So I stapled it there, and then I ran it under the carpet because we have carpet on top of our carpet back then in the hallway. So there's like your normal carpet, and then we had runners on top.
Oh, yeah, like a rug.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant
my
like
bad.
you carpeted on top of carpet. I'm like,
No,
wait, what?
Sorry. So yeah, I mean, I just ran the cable under the
RJ11,
rugs.
got
I
it.
just tried to hide it basically, but every time when I was done, I had to unplug it and then throw it back in the loft so no one would trip on it.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Just tape it down next time. No one will trip.
Staples next
And if
time.
they do, they
more
deserve
staples
it.
instead of the tape.
They trip and go falling down the stairs. All right.
Yeah. Cool. Next question. What are some lessons learned from owning your first fun car? I should say just first car in general. But
Well, fun car usually implies it's not practical.
none of my cars.
You need to make sure you can afford it.
Yeah.
And then by that, I mean any fuel or
Repairs.
repairs, especially because my first quote unquote fun car was I had a 90 RS Camaro with a 305 liter throttle body injected, like non-tune port, right? I only had that for 2 months. I got rear-ended at a red light. It got totaled. I got a 92 Z28 305 tune port injection, but still not a 5.7 liter. That wasn't that bad of a car. It was pretty bulletproof. I mean, the iron block 305s, those things don't die. What the heck is going on out there?
Kids are getting thrown across the room.
Oh, they're throwing the kid. Oh, they're doing the kid toss. Okay. And so anyway, the transmission was bulletproof. I had a 10-bolt rear end, like peg leg. There was no breaking that car. I beat the son of it. But then when my friend with his GSX was like, "Hey, you want to trade cars? Like trade pink slips?" Because we were bored with each other's car. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll trade." That's where I realized what a real nickel and dimer is. And let me tell you, a Mitsubishi GSX. Absolutely nickels and dimes the crap out of you. Because the problem is it was already upgraded when I got it.
Oh.
So it already
pre-modded, yeah.
Well, I knew I was in trouble when both of the strut towers were rewelded
Oh no.
Oh.
because they had cracked.
That's no bueno.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I would say I think the general tip probably that matches for all three of us is just be open to learning a lot about how to work on that car.
Also, friends don't let friends buy Racelands.
But I mean, hey, looking sick AF for $200 is pretty sick. Not gonna lie.
Okay, depending where the age bracket is, because there is a point in time when I was cool with Racelands, but like I got a little bit older, it's like this is not worth the backache.
you know, it's ironic. Cars like that, you would think like the Golf and the Mitsubishi and all that, or even like the twins Mazda, right? These are cars that you would think are reliable and whatnot, because they really were like, they were advertised and marketed as being like daily driver type vehicles. The crazy thing is, if you think about quote unquote supercars, right? You got your McLaren, Audi, Lamborghini, Ferrari, whatever, right? You've got your tiers of those cars. So right now you could get like a 2014 V10 Audi R8 with probably like 50,000 miles on it for like $65,000. Now I say that like that's not a lot of money, but the thing is you can buy a freaking Camry that costs that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you like fully option it out.
But
TRD
here's the
package.
crazy thing. Like the Audis and the V10s have already proven that they are freaking reliable. Like they just don't break.
I'm not going to wood for you, but yeah.
Mine's a 2020. We're fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was still part of the
But
Volkswagen
no,
family.
my point is like my point is you would think a car like that would be like a money pit in terms of maintenance and all this stuff, but it's honestly not. That's what's surprising about it. So like when I tell people, like when I belong to a lot of the forums and stuff, where people were just like, "Hey, I want to get my first quote unquote like high end car or whatever. What do you recommend?" And my recommendation is always going to be like a 2014 or a 2015 V10 R8 sub 70,000. I don't think you can beat the car for that price.
I mean,
We now live in the era when you can buy a $250,000 Corvette. So let's really just let that sink in.
well, we always joke about like VW reliability or lack of or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like like Audi as a company, like it's really easy to forget the gigantic racing pedigree they have, and you know what I mean. Reliability is still a necessity in like endurance racing. Yeah.
So the R8 is way more reliable than the RS6 or my wife's RSQ8.
Yeah, which was kind of surprising to us.
Because it doesn't have all the extra shit.
Mhm.
It doesn't have all the nanny modules and all this other crap.
Like I like to describe it as 2 seats and an engine and 4-wheel drive.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how we got on. Oh, the fun car discussion.
Well, yeah, like owning your first fun car and then saving up for your first
Yeah, just get used to working on it, and not in like a get used to working on it, but like it's cool to learn how to become a mechanic.
Be open to sitting under the car or spending a weekend under the car, like just figuring out how to do stuff.
And then that
it
way,
was pretty scary the first time I sort of tore into the R8, like to do the wing and stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah. How do you think I felt?
You just had to film
you were
it.
helping. Yeah, but you have no like if you break something, it's not like he's gonna.
Like... But yeah, so I mean.
Or the first time I took the steering wheel off and took all the wiring and crap out so I could change the steering wheel and stuff out. Like I don't mind working on my own stuff. My biggest thing is like, if I screw this steering wheel up, I have no way to start the car.
Oh yeah, the buttons.
There's a lot more pressure.
Everything's on the steering wheel. Yeah,
and it's gonna set off like every single like.
I will argue my GTI was reliable until I finally threw money at it. And I made it even less reliable.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing.
That's my experience with the VW as well. I mean,
but let's be honest here. Let's really, Nick. Let's really dissect your choices.
We already know what choices I made wrong.
You wanted to do things to your car so bad without having the budget or the funds to do it. You did it all the wrong way.
And yeah,
but that's gonna be everybody with their first fun car. That's exactly how it started.
That's why our advice is have money set aside to do it the right way.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Like,
but you're
and what did we learn about paying someone to do a job before they've started the job?
Don't.
Why?
Just don't.
But why?
Don't even do it. Just go to an actual mechanic.
Nick unfortunately did pay someone like backyard mechanic to do some work to his car, but he paid them full up front.
So they could order the parts and whatnot.
And then that person had his money already and had no incentive to actually do the work on the car.
Yeah.
What happened?
He did some of the work, broke it, and then Nick was like, finally, like, give me back my car, and then I'd take it to someone else and pay more money to make it right.
No, I took it back to my friend who helped me. But it was when I did my front mount intercooler. It came
Didn't
back.
He mess up a wire?
Yeah,
harness?
It came back in limp mode. We tore it apart at my friend's house.
Like two tubes.
Yeah, dude.
Wasn't he the USPS mechanic? Like he worked for the mail trucks.
Justin.
1.8 T guys.
We found we tore it apart to find out where it was, and there's a drill, like a screw stuck through my engine harness. So we had to undo that and then resolder those engine harness parts back together.
Yeah.
And
Justin ended up buying that car, made it actually pretty nice, and then it went to Alaska.
Yeah, he sold it to his brother who's stationed in Alaska, and it's
Probably not anymore.
No, he's still there. Yeah,
oh.
I get a picture every now and then. It's like it's still alive. I'm like, thank God,
dude. I wonder how much boost it makes up there. Like the air is so cold, just extra.
I wonder how many times the charge pipe popped off.
Well,
extra dense.
Justin put a stock turbo back on it and a new manifold because I apparently blew the turbo.
Yeah, it was all cracked. You showed me the hot side was all cracked.
At least it didn't catch fire like my friend's 180.
You know what else is cracked? Is this fight tonight. Wow, I need to make it ramp up a little more aggressively, I think. All right, guys, thanks for watching this week's RTFM show. Unfortunately, I won't be here next week because I'm going to be in Toronto. So we will be on hiatus next week. I apologize for that. It starts, I promise, we're not going off the air.
Isn't the week after that Thanksgiving, though?
That noises.
I don't know what to do. I do it with my hands.